The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, first of all, how long you been doing music?
I think most of my life, you know.
Did you grow up in a musical family, or is it just something you picked up on your own?
No, everyone worked and made art when they weren't working,
Oh, okay.
but no music really. But that I like music.
Like, what kind of art did your family do?
Like my mom would always paint. She put like murals on the walls of the house and stuff. And my old man's a mechanic, and he would be tinkering around, making all sorts of fun stuff, usually with his welder and whatnot. So I felt like they were artistic folks, you know, but they didn't necessarily do music. You know, they're smarter than that.
And so I only know of you from the videos that you put up on Instagram. And specifically, I think it was the United Healthcare guy was the first one, right? Which was really good, dude. It's the lyrics and the timing of it all. You captured the moment. And that song, to me, was like, yeah, that's what the fuck is going on.
Right.
That's what's really going on. They don't give a shit about you, and they're just trying to make money. And that's why when this guy got shot, there was this reaction from people. Yeah. Which is very rare when someone gets assassinated, when people celebrate.
Right.
When someone's not like a mass murderer or something.
It was bizarre.
It was bizarre.
It's I mean, it must mean something is up. If people are celebrating somebody's death, something is wrong.
And across both sides of the aisle, it's not a political thing. It is a human thing. They're like, these people, they take your fucking money, you pay them, and then when something comes up, you don't get covered. And there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. And to fight it, you have to go to court, and you usually don't have the money to go to court. No. And they have a lot of fucking money. Right. And they, you know, have been doing this for a long time, and now they're using AI to make sure that they pay less. So they're using AI to approve cases. And the numbers are even lower than they were before. So United Healthcare always had a lower number than industry standard, right? Yeah. Now it's even, with AI, they're going to be able to chop it down to even lower. It's like, at what point in time does this become against the law? Like, at what point in time is this like, it's a con game? Like, you're paying, you're thinking you're going to get covered, and they're like, nah.
The system would have to be revolutionized. I mean, you can't have health for profit at that point. You'd have to socialize the medicine at some point.
Which I agree with, up until a point. The problem is human nature. And like if you hurt your shoulder and you need to get an operation on your shoulder, you want to go to a guy who does the Lakers. You know what I mean? Right. You want to go to a guy who is like, this motherfucker is the cream of the crop. He is dialed in. He's been doing this forever. He's super focused and motivated. And he drives a fucking Mercedes, right? And the reason why he drives a Mercedes, he makes a lot of money doing what he's doing. Yeah. You don't want someone to not feel appreciated, not have the motivation to continue to get really great at their craft. Like there's a thing with just human beings. There's a financial motivation that people have because it's a quantitative thing. You could see it on a ledger. You know that you're making more money because you're doing this and you're working harder and you're getting this reward, whether or not it makes sense or not. As soon as you eliminate that and everybody gets the same amount of money and then you lose all the killers. Right. You lose all the...
No, all I mean is that you just don't want to have to go to an urgent care and it costs $500 to get a pack of antibiotics.
100%. Well, you know? That's a giant scam.
So, but that's a scam that so many folks are stuck in, you know.
That's only part of the scam. You know, the healthcare scam, it goes so deep. There's so many different layers to this fucking horrible den of vampires. Right. You know, because it's whenever you can make profit off of people and you're involved in a corporation and then the corporation has an interest its stockholders want more money every year. They want more money every quarter. So that's what they try to do. Right. That's their focus. And when you're doing that with people's lives and people's health, like that should be illegal. That's where it gets fucked.
Right. I suppose that's why folks were. It was upsetting to see. You know, I felt like I actually had kind of an unpopular opinion about it, and that why are we celebrating somebody's death. Like, that seems far out. Just to celebrate the murder of somebody with a gun.
Not only that, I believe unrelated to him in his case.
Like, I mean, how far out is that? And so I didn't want, you know, I make these tunes, but that one in particular, I was like, how do I address this? What do you even say? So
how do you approach something like that? Do you sit down with a pad and pen, or do you start writing? Like, how do you start singing?
Step one is avoid the work. So I went I went for some long jogs. I wrote a song about Amazon instead, and put up like Amazon is Santa Claus, and I kept sitting there, and it kept getting. The situation was snowballing with the United Healthcare thing, and I was like, okay, you gotta write. And at that point, it's a research project. Let's write 2,000 words so that we can have 300 to sing, and boil down the essence of the issue, and make it rhyme, and put a jolly tune behind it. That's kind of how that goes about.
That sounds like super similar to stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I think
you boil it down.
Yeah. Get and you don't. It's just punchlines. So find the punchline of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Find the punchline of everything. I never had the attention span to tell too much of a story or anything like that. So I like just keeping it in punchlines. So I always like Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright. We're so good at that. Just come out and lay out a bunch of punchlines immediately. If one doesn't land, on to the next one.
Well, that was the daunting thing about their act, which is so impressive, is that it's all non sequiturs. So every subject is new. Yeah. Every time they open their mouth, it's a new subject.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy. It's a crazy way to do comedy.
Yeah.
But when you're an absurdist, it's probably the best way, because it's an absurd way to think, right? You're just going from one subject to the next in each minute burst.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me if I want a frozen banana, and I said no, but I want a regular banana later, so yes.
Yeah.
That's like such a ridiculous joke. I used to love listening to him, in particular, when I was in traffic, because it would like chill me out. Like if I was headed to the airport in LA and it was just fucking clusterfuck on the highway, I'd just throw on some Mitch Hedberg and just start giggling. It was just silly, He's
one of the coolest.
He was awesome. He was awesome. Let's play that song. Jamie, can you find that one? The United Healthcare song? I want to play it so people know what we're talking about. So people.
And a person and a chair, and you paid for it all, though you may be unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you're needing ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for health, cause your doctor's gotta pray to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredients you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. There's hardly humans in humanity.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's a great song. That's a great song. And it's interesting to me how few people are doing what you're doing. I don't know of anyone else. I'm sure there probably is a few people out there that I missed, but I don't know of anybody else who takes things that are in the zeitgeist, these big stories that come up, and turns them into a catchy tune and does it in a way where you laid out, really the problem and the whole thing, like you said, in punchlines.